It's a beautiful morning. I think I'll go outside for a while and just smile. Just taking some clean.
Hello everyone and welcome to the first place replay from the Krebs Coho replay competition. We're going to just jump right into this game because, you know, there's no point in doing long introductions. You guys are fully aware of what this competition is about, and this is first place. So we had our third place on Monday, second place on Wednesday, and here you go guys, number one. Now, I am featuring this with Ryan today. Ryan, are you ready to get this game started?
I am.
Ryan is ready, I am ready, you guys are ready, and here we go in 3, 2, 1. Blast off. Okay guys, so if you already noticed from the map, this is a 1v1 on Sturzdorf. So this is following in the same suit as the second place replay, and funnily enough guys, can you guess what this player might be? Can you guess it? Can you guess it? It's CrazyTiger. So on the south corner we have CrazyTiger defending his title as the Wehrmacht champion from second place. He's going to be versing in the northern corner, weighing in at 500 pounds, Audemed too. I suppose he might be weighing in 500 pounds after winning the slight prize, $25. I'm sure he can go spend it on quite a few pizzas. So good for Audemed. I'm happy for him. I hope he enjoys all that pizza. So Ryan, what is your build order happening right now with CrazyTiger?
Oh, we had a double Pio start, you know, building the first Pio and then accelerating the Wehrmacht quarters out, which typically means that you're going to see either a bike or an MG out, just because you've got the excess manpower to bring them out. And we do have an MG building. The Pios are splitting up and running in two different directions, one towards center and one towards the east side.
And we also see that little MG guy coming out first, so MG first rather than Volksgrenadier, so fair enough. Audemed is going for 2 engineers and a barrack start. He's got his riflemen out on the field right now. So this is much more of a typical start when it comes to American builds. I'm sure if you guys watch replay replay number 2, second place, you'll notice that that was 3 Jeeps and now we're back to normal. Thank God, because I think that was last replay was just a bit too much for me to handle. So we just have this MG for CrazyTiger setting up in the center, right in cover behind this little truck, going to stop anybody who wishes to get in his sight. So I sort of like that. We also have a bit of capping going on the right hand side, a little passive engineer just going around, most likely shift clicking onto points and just, you know, capping about, and same with the pioneer from CrazyTiger. So our little first engagement right here, we have the MG just taking a few shots, suppressing shots on Audemed's rifleman, taking one little casualty there. So from this little engagement, I suppose you could say that Audemed is down. But I wouldn't really say so because these pioneers are in quite a bad position. They shouldn't really be there, and hopefully they won't die, but it looks like, yes, they do get taken down. That is quite unfortunate, quite a big loss in the beginning since you need that capping power. And now we also have a flanking engineer squad coming in at CrazyTiger from the side. Sorry, Ryan, am I just hogging the microphone right now?
Well, of course you are, but I mean, it is kind of your channel.
Come on.
So, we had engineers flanking around the MG. They actually caused, you know, a little bit of damage. Crazy stayed there probably a little too long, but he was probably hoping that the riflemen would run into range of that MG while the Volks were coming up as support. So just trying to maintain that portion of the map over there and trying to keep the American from pushing too far forward. Getting pushed off there from the 2 rifle squads and the engineer squad.
So Ryan, do you think CrazyTiger must be a good player?
Well, I mean, to be, you know, coming up in matches against Seb and Audemed, you know, there's a consistency in his play that has to exist. And, you know, obviously from the game with Seb, yes, Seb played, you know, unconventionally. And while, you know, to a certain extent, we kind of said, yeah, that hurt Seb. At the same time, you know, you figure if you're not playing Seb or Audemed, who are consistent, you know, competition players and definitely up there on the game replays list of top players that hang around, you know, if you're not playing those kinds of people, you're probably going to have a pretty tough time with this strat.
I would say so. So basically summarizing what you're saying, yes, he is a good player. um, well, during that little talk that Ryan was giving there, I saw something quite nifty and I thought pretty cool. Little subtle thing. When the riflemen were capping away at the center and pushing a bit forward, they had the most injured squad at the back capping the medium munitions point and the most full squad ahead. And now you might think like, oh, what's the point in that? But that is actually totally what you should be doing, because if you have a half health squad up at the front, then obviously they're going to need to retreat much quicker. So it's just in order to save time and make sure that you have that capping going without having to be forced to retreat with your injured squads. But anyway, we have two little riflemen trying to flank around this building right now, but the MG getting in there. Now, I wouldn't exactly say that riflemen are in a bad position. As long as they are moving about and they're not letting the MG set up, then obviously they're not going to take much hassle. And there you go, guys. Riflemen right next to the building, no problem. Very badly damaging that MG, has to retreat. But luckily an MG supporting that retreat path. So very nice work for CrazyTiger right now. We also have bars upgraded on the riflemen now, so that is going to be quite a hassle for all these Volksgrenadiers. The Volksgrenadiers are not the most powerful infantry in the entire game, and especially when you start getting these bars out in the flames, this is when their bad day starts, and they really do not like all these bullets. Now we also have this little medic. I just want to mention there's a little medic station down, so we'll see what happens out of that. On you go, Ryan.
He did a decent job of focusing fire down on the flamer that was coming around to flank from the west side there. One of the other things with CrazyTiger's micro is that if you notice, he's not unpacking and repacking his MG a whole ton, and that's something we talked about, I believe, in the third place game, where you know, you can select different targets if you tell the MG to attack the new target in between bursts, and that's something that we see Crazy doing here, which is good to see.
That is definitely good to see. So at least he's doing an okay job with his MGs, and it looks like he wanted to get in that house again. And the little SMGs that the MG guys have, apart from the MG, just the SMGs, were enough to take a few casualties on those rifleman squad, that rifleman squad, and force retreat them basically. So well done on CrazyTiger's defensive position right now in holding the center. When it comes to capping, we have the engineers on the right hand side with the Audemed's engineers just capping away at whatever is left that the Wehrmacht has on this side. But funnily enough, it's already, the Wehrmacht's points are already cut off by a strategic point. But apart from the obvious, just maintaining a defensive position in the center. So Volksgrenadiers, MG, more MGs. Is he has he teched up to T2 yet or anything?
I see a Campcraft Center up. I haven't really paid attention to the sidebar, so I don't know if he's gotten up to tier 2 yet, but we're not seeing any of the buildings come out.
Well, he's got Veterancy 1 on his Volks right now, so that is okay. When it comes to actually what he might be doing with that Veterancy, there's quite a bit of options at the moment. So I'm not exactly sure what to expect. So we'll really have to see. Now we have a bit of flanking squads coming in through the center. 2 squads are already suppressed, but this rifleman squad just barely getting in. Will they manage to take out this MG? And it looks like it's just down to 1 man. Can these 2 guys do the job? No, they cannot. They have to get out of there before being killed. So that was very unfortunate. It's too bad they couldn't at least take out that MG. Now this actually puts the medic station at quite a bad position because there is nothing guarding it, and this puts it you know, very susceptible to be hit by this MG. And there you go, the MG is already starting to whack away at it, taking down quite a bit of its health points.
Yeah, and we CrazyTiger sadly has been kind of letting his pyos go. He lost 1 pyo in the fuel that connects the east side down to the strategic point in the high fuel. They were up trying to cut that point off, and he lost another down here on the munitions. Part of that's probably just to split attentions on the on the combat versus the capping squads themselves. We got some wire coming up on the west here to prevent some flanking squads. Probably just going to back off. We do have a mortar out on the field from Audemed as well.
There's actually quite a bit of wire that's down. You've got on the most western side. You've also got a bit towards the center, but the engineers look like they're about to just cut away at it. And funnily enough, I believe that that is what they're way to do, because when you're basically forced to go in certain directions, that puts you in a very bad place. The last thing you want to do is go into a choke point. So guys, we have more capping going along. These riflemen are really trying to do some sort of hassle, put some pressure on Crazy, and they look like they have just found a sniper, and unfortunately they can't chase it down because this MG is supporting the sniper and going to give it a very bad day if they continue chasing. So they have to get out of there, whilst these riflemen are still capping away.
Yeah, it's something that we saw in the last game with CrazyTiger is that he's not horribly cognizant of the mortars involved, but with his MGs in the house, and part of that can be, am I willing to lose this MG just to maintain the position that I have for a period of time? I don't know that that's always a wise decision, but it is a decision that he appears to make.
That is right. Now, I would say CrazyTiger, he is a good player. He definitely plays along with the pros and all of that. But when it comes to actually, say, comparing his micro to other players, so say, for example, Seb in second place yesterday, that is a whole different story. Unfortunately, I don't think CrazyTiger is totally up to speed, but what he does have is that he does have quite a decent build order, so he knows what he's going to be getting. He knows to get veterancy. He's got a mixture of units and diversity, so that's very good of him. Now we have Audemed actually going for infantry doctrine, so that is why you see the riflemen putting down their mines, because normally they do not carry mines on them. But as soon as they get infantry doctrine, there you go, guys, putting it down in a very strategic place, because if anyone walks that direction, a tank or infantry, boom, there goes the mine.
Oh, that was sad. Alright. Near the strategic point where all of the units are running by, we had the howitzer barrage coming down and taking out the MG that was set up there.
Oh, where's that? Oh, so we did. Unfortunately, I didn't really hear it. But we have CrazyTiger with his little stormtroopers there, and there you go, guys, landing on that mine. Fortunately, should I say, all four guys are still alive, and no, they're not. It looks like they were just two of them, or one of them was taken out by a mortar shot there. CrazyTiger, when we're talking about strategies, it seems like maybe he's got a set strategy on Sturzdorf, because in the second place replay, he actually was using Blitzkrieg as well, and he had his Stormtrooper, so this seems a bit familiar. The only difference is that he's playing against somebody different, and it looks like we're going to have a howitzer shoot, and yes, we do. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's going to be doing anything except digging some holes in the ground, throwing some dirt around, and that's what it looks like it's doing pretty much. Probably could have used a different placement there from Audemed.
Yeah, Audemed was probably hoping that there would be a little delay in the push up from CrazyTiger catching the infantry moving forward, maybe a stray shot on the MG in the back, because he was pushed out of this western portion. One of the things to note, though, too, CrazyTiger got a little overconfident with his sniper, had it uncloaked, kind of way back behind his infantry, but Audemed snuck up a sniper in the process and did take it out.
Oh, that's good. So Audemed doing a good job at taking out that sniper, but when we're talking about exchanging losses, Audemed has lost his medic station. That is quite unfortunate, but it's not a very huge loss. The medic stations are relatively cheap. So we could possibly see another one down. I would totally recommend it, especially with all these infantry on the field. But when we're talking about Audemed's build order, he has back tech to WSC, and that is why we see these snipers and the mortars and all that.